this, well, and the mask. I've got my face shield. You know, today I wanted to talk about something that we all have this. We're going to have this until we die. No matter what we do, we're going to have this no matter until we die. It's temptation. How do we get rid of our temptations? Everybody has temptations. And the hardest thing in the world is to get rid of temptations. I'm telling you, I've got to tell you a story. I was a little boy. My brothers and I, 3 of us, my mother would go to the store and she would buy ice cream cones in a box. And in this box came 7. I was only 5 of us in the family. So we got a treat every Saturday, an ice cream cone each, and a Coca-Cola. Now the Coca-Cola was a tall one. It cost a nickel. It was the really tall Coca-Cola. Man, we look forward to Saturday. You got to have ice cream too. A lot of sugar, right? Well, there's 2 left, right, in the box. So we said to ourselves, Mom, who's going to eat the other 2? We'd always argue who's going to eat the other 2. Whoever is the best boy during the week, the best boys, gets the 2. Well, we know that ain't going to happen. I ain't getting any. My brothers are not getting any because they're not. They're all not. So I said, okay. Well, my mom and dad, I was in charge. They're at work. There's 2 of them. They're bugging me. The temptation. Every night I go to bed, I knew that ice cream was in there. What do I do to get that ice cream? That temptation. I'm not kidding you. It was there all the time, and I couldn't. So my brothers were the same. Tom, this is feed them and not tell Mom. We'll split them all on a plate. We'll not tell Mom and Dad. Just tell them we had it during the week. I don't know. Mom said not to touch it. Guess what we did? We had 3 plates. We put that on there, and we chopped it all up. And we said, okay, we ate it. Then, guilt. Temptation will get you every time. Mom didn't say anything first day, second day, third day, but come Saturday. She says, where's those other 2 ice cream cones that's in that box? I bought another box. Oh, you did? Oh, yeah, it's in the freezer. You guys did not see me put it in there, but I bought another box. That means that we had 4 extra. Oh, Mom, we don't know what happened. We didn't do it. My mother says you didn't do it. You boys ate that during that week. And I said, well, we split it between us. She said, it's okay. I was going to make a cake and put those ice cream cones in the middle of that cake and make a big, beautiful cake with ice cream inside of it. It's called an ice cream cake. I go, oh, man, we made a cake too. Now I'm not making a cake. It's not because you had it, it's because you didn't tell me. You have to tell me when you do things. So today's message is about temptation. We talked about in the message, we were talking 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. Let's see here if I can find it here. No temptation has seized you except what is common to man. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so you can stand up under it. 1 Corinthians 10, verse 13. Now, as you know, Tom's up here and he's got a lot of verses again. But there's one thing that I want to talk about before I get into that. I saw this on TV last night, and you know, it really got my attention. And the thing that really got my attention on this was that this is really true. And you know what? It has something to do with temptations, but it really doesn't. There are 5 things of love that you can have in a loving relationship. With your partner, with your boyfriend, with your friends. And I wanted to do these 5 things because people don't really realize in order to have a loving relationship with your husband or boyfriend, or it could be just a friend, if you do these 5 things. Now it's really talking more about boyfriend and girlfriend, marriage, things like that. But if you do these 5 things, you will always have a successful marriage. The first thing, physical touch. Sitting by each other, touching their arm, touching their leg, relaxation. Does it not make you feel good when someone touches you? Does you have that sense of like, it feels good? Like, it can be just a little attention. Touch. Affirmation is number 2. Positive statements. Honey, you look very beautiful today. Tom, you look thinner in that shirt, even though I know I don't. I know you were so thin, look good in that shirt. I love that shirt on. I said, oh, okay. I'll wear this shirt tomorrow too. We don't need to wash it. Gifts to each other. Number 3 is gifts. Gifts, small gifts. It could be a note. It could be a note. I love you very much, honey. And I really miss you when you're not here with me. And put it in your Bible. Simple. Simple gifts like that. You'd be surprised how much that will get you in life. And people don't really do that a lot. Now, I'm saying this does work. It does work. And I've always tried to do this all my life. Quality time is number 4. Quality time. If you have quality time together, no TV, no phones, no laptops, no computers, nothing around you but quality time and you two in a room together. Quality time. Now, it's not saying you can't have Christian music playing in the background. It's not saying you can't maybe have dinner together and talk and have Christian music going on. You do that. How much fun is that? I know Auntie and Uncle, I can drive by this house and it's playing. It plays all the time. It literally plays. When they hit the door, Christian music is on. And I love that. And I love that ambiance of feeling when you drive by, you go real slow. Yeah, they got it on. It's on. But it makes you feel good to know that they have it on. And this last one is help. Acts of service. Honey, I know you're very busy today doing that cake. Can I have the scraps? No, I'm kidding. Honey, are you doing that cake? Can I help you? I will help you carry it to the car. No. Can I help you in any way? Yes. You can wash the dishes. I don't want to do that, but I'll do it. So that's how, I just thought I'd tell you that before we get into that. All right, how to overcome temptations. Get rid of it. The best thing to get rid of temptations is get rid of it. It first comes in about the thought. Now, there are many types of temptations. There's food, alcohol, gambling, adultery, temptation, one of the worst ones, greed, gossip, desires, arousal. Now, arousal can be different things. Arousal could be a smell, a hearing, it could be a touch, or a feeling. And you can actually see something. It's like in USA, they're really smart. When you go up to the cash register and you walk in up there, and there's magazines, many magazines. And in the magazines, there's always beautiful women. Sexy, naughty, sexy, naughty. You got this one that covers up this because it's really naughty. They cover it up. The kids over 18 only, and then naughty. So all the men, when they can't wait to get up there, man. You ready, honey? Let's go. They're sitting there looking at that. Mama, you about this magazine? No. We're looking at that. So how do you keep yourself from that temptation? It's very hard to do that. Hunger can be a temptation. And what I mean by that is loneliness, sadness. When you're hungry, you've got to be hungry for the love of Jesus Christ. The only way you can get out of all the temptation is refocus it. Don't think about it. When you're around it, walk around it. When you have that temptation and you see someone or something, or you hear, or you want that cupcake, or you want that. I mean, you could have a donut right here. And it could be glazed with chocolate dripping off of it. And I'm sitting there looking at it. Man, I really want that donut. So you're sitting there going, I wonder how I can get that donut. And I'm supposed to be talking up here, but that donut is sitting there. So what you have to do, the very first thing you have to do is look at that donut and say, it's not there. I have to refocus my energy on something else that's positive. Jesus Christ will give you that energy, and what you have to do, you have to take the time and look at that. When you have temptations, you have to really think. How will it affect the people around me? If I do that temptation, what will happen when I do it? Think after the fact. Will I have guilt for eating that ice cream? Will I have guilt on doing that temptation? What will happen when I do that temptation? You have to really think about that. Because if you don't think about what will happen to you, you're going to go back and do it again and again and again and again. You have to think past the temptation and go to the next level. This will change people. When you do a temptation, it will change your relationship forever. It could be a simple thing, but when you do a temptation and it's something that's naughty and not good, it can change your relationship. Not only this, what is the dirtiest part of the human body? What? Is it your ear? Is dirty? No. Is it your feet? No. Is it your hands? What is it? Your nose?
Tongue.
It's your tongue. The tongue is the dirtiest part. Now why?
Because everything is...
Or, go get me that rag and set it on top. No, I will not do it.
I don't say good.
Cut the tongue off. We always have to mark to say, after someone says that, the tongue can kill you and hurt so many people. The tongue. Hi, how are you? I really don't like that person. You said it. Don't say it. You have to really think about what you do and how you do it, how it's going to affect somebody. The temptation to say those words, it can actually affect the people around you. All of a sudden, if a child is standing there, hi, I really don't like that person. Oh, or I didn't see you standing there. Or, oh, I did not. All the kids hear it. It changes who they are. All of a sudden, oh, I don't like her either. So it changes who the person is. You have to be careful on what you say, what you do. The temptation to say things is the worst thing. I'm a sinner. I do it. I've done it. And I continually try to work on my mouth. And I have to tell you, it's hard. It's really hard to stop the temptation to say things when people are not around. How will it affect and feel about it tomorrow when something happens? How will you feel if you do a temptation? It's like, man, I really shouldn't have done that. I really shouldn't have ate ice cream. I shouldn't have ate the donut. I should not have went down that road. The Spirit of God can fill you and help you. God will help you, and He will actually help you in many ways. If you take a look at 2 Corinthians, look at chapter 2, verse 11. Satan has schemes. This verse says, Satan is smarter, he thinks, than God. But Satan's been doing this for thousands and thousands of years. He's got schemes to help and hurt us in any way that we want to do. Satan thinks he's got it figured out. Satan is so smart in his mind, he has all these schemes. I can get them to do these things. I can get them to commit this temptation. I know I can. Well, guess what? In verse 11, in order that Satan might outwit us, for we are not unaware of his sins, of his schemes. We have to be aware. We already know what Satan's going to do. He's going to tempt us that. Well, if we eat that, we're going to have that temporary happiness. That's going to give you that happiness for that moment. But after the temptation is done, you are really saying to yourself, like, why did I do that? Why did I that ice cream? I'm going to get bigger. Why did I do this thing? So you have to really think about what you're doing. The devil has a scheme to keep you on that problem and to tempt you all the time. He will continually do it until you figure out a way to do it. The Lord can help you get past this. When you get baptized, you receive Christ. Christ says, I'm coming into you. You receive the Holy Spirit in your body. And you say to yourself, okay, I'm good. I'm cleansed. I'm okay. Temptations will not bother me ever again. But guess what? The devil has a plan. he's going to get you. He's going to tempt you more. He's going to tempt you more because you were saved. Because he does not want more people on God's side. He wants them all on his side. The enemy we cannot see has prepared for everything. He is an enemy. He's always looking. We don't see him. But get this. We don't see God in Jesus. But guess what? We trust him. We know that he's there. You don't know how many times in my past, as things are happening and I'm doing things, I say to myself, oh no, Lord, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me, Lord. Don't let me die because I'm getting ready to get in a car accident. Don't let me die. I have two cars coming down the same lane road. Please let me veer off this road. Lord, guide me, please, please, please. Not only did he guide me, the two cars kept coming. They were dump trucks like this, traveling at 80 miles an hour on a two-lane road. I had to go off the road. But guess what was there? A paved road. When I veered off on a paved road I didn't know it was there. And I veered back on the road, and I never lost control of the car. The Lord is just so fantastic. He saved my life. I pulled off the road. I turned off the car, and I said, thank you, God, for saving my life. I would have died. And I know we died. I know you have a plan for me. Help me, help me, help me do your plan every day of my life. The devil is predictable. You can always figure out the devil's going to be there. He is predictable. He's going to tell you, guess what? There is a plan. I have a plan for you. I am going to tempt you every day of your life. And he does. Temptations for words, temptations for things, food, all kinds of things. You just have to figure out. So lust of the flesh, it feels good. I love it. I want it. Makes you feel good for that moment. Alcohol. Great thing to have. Oh man, I feel good. Yeah. This is so good going down. But get this. It's not that. It's the things after the fact. It's the things that will affect you after the fact. What happens is the devil figures out many ways. He puts you in front of things. I am never going to go to the grocery store again and look at those magazines in that rack because naughty. You can't do that. I'm going to go to the grocery store, and when I come up the register, I'm going to go, that's wonderful. My focus is going to be on something else. How about focusing on the Lord? How about focusing on prayer? Or how about just focusing on something else completely? Maybe a hobby. Or maybe something that has to help Jesus Christ. It could be a hobby. You know what? I would want to redo my garage. You think about things like that. I want more. I want good. I want the best. You know, the fruit, Adam and Eve. Let's talk about this a second. Adam. Because of what Adam and Eve did, it kind of ruined it for all of us. Will we still be in the same situation? I really don't know. But I know that since that happened, thank goodness that Jesus came down on this earth and says, okay, I will take all the burden. I will take everything off your shoulder. Because of what Adam did, Jesus came and saved all of us again. And that's the most fantastic thing you can do. I need to be more aware of our weaknesses all the time. What are your weaknesses? Everybody knows what their weaknesses are. Okay? Well, since Ruth started baking, the weakness now is that chocolate icing that's sitting on there, it's ganache. One of my weaknesses I have to take. It is hard not to sit there and say, it's free. I'm going to eat it. How can I stop doing that? I have to take and look at it and say, focus on something else. It's really hard to focus on when they set right in front of the right there, TV's right there. So you have to really put God into this. So I have to go. Humility, humor. You know, that's the thing. Most people, and you know, this is the thing I have to say. You know, for me, the best thing in the world that I can do for me personally is I need to be more humble. And I tell you the reason why I need to be more humble. I need to be more humble around Jesus, around the Bible, around Christ. I need to not. We all worry about everybody else. We all worry the temptation. Well, if I do this, I want to be like the Joneses. I want to be like them because they have a new car. I want to have a new car. It's not about the material things on this earth. It's not about any of the things that you have on this earth. It's about what you have internally here and what you have internally. You know what? I have to tell you, I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to lay it out here. The best thing in the world that I ever did was move to the Philippines. The best thing I ever did. You want to know what? Look at the family I have. I am so proud of my family. I love my family so much. I love each and every one, and I would do anything for any one of them. If they needed a kidney and they needed it tomorrow, I would give them a kidney. Amen. I would. I love them that much, and the reason why is, here is the reason why. When I lived in the U.S., it's a great place. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. Whatever you dream, it can happen. But the problem is to obtain it. To obtain that, it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to that level. Grass is not as green as it is on that side of the fence. You don't know how many people are trying to get here. Hundreds, thousands. Because they want that family, they want that calmness, they want the calmness and the feel-good feeling. You don't know how many Filipina has been ruined in the USA because they have gotten westernized. They have got westernized. They got materialistic. They want this, they want that. They don't want to come back here anymore. They don't like it here. And why they don't like it here is because they don't get to do all the things they want to do. I want to go shopping. Oh, I see a new bag. I know he makes good money. I'm going to go with that new bag. It's a coat. I can buy a Coach bag for how much? Oh, that's good. It's branded. It has ruined so many relationships, so many families. There are so many men in the U.S. just distraught and upset. So I would say 80% of the people I know wish they never brought their Filipino to the U.S. Everyone that I know, and Ruth can tell you, 20, 30 right now that brought their wife or their fiance to get married, this is why did we do this? I'm coming to the Philippines, I'm getting married, and I'm staying. Because it ruins. Because you go from here and you go from there, it's clean. No matter where you step, it's perfect. It's perfect. No matter where you go, it's clean. The streets are clean. You can't go to Detroit or someplace like that. Parts of New York, you don't want to walk down the street. You better take a gun with you. But there are places that are so beautiful. You go, and the parks are so beautiful. It's bright skies. But God has blessed the United States. But on the other you something to worry about. You keep up with this temptation. You keep doing that action you're doing on that temptation. I'll teach you. He may teach you. And you may not want the consequence on that. There are many times that I wanted to give up my life. My faith. There was times in the USA I was really wanting to give up. There was times I would sit there. There was times I get on my knees and I pray to the Lord. I want to give up. I have money. I have wealth. I have fake happiness. It's not true happiness. I thought I was happy. But I did not have the freedom of all those materialistic things. And I did not have God in my life 100%. But you know what? Because of that woman right there, I'm sitting right over there in that little chair, in that blue, pretty little dress, and this wonderful family sitting up here that sings so beautifully, and all my wonderful family, I found Christ again. Amen. Because of this church. And this church is so fantastic because, believe it or not, you may think that this is probably one of the best churches. It's as good as any church on this earth. Because God's here. Amen. Is God in all the churches? I don't know. But I know He's here. Rethink. All right. Rethink on how you do your temptations. We all need to understand how your temptations work in your mind. Take the desire that you have and remove it from your brain. Routine. Routine. Did God, listen, God, everybody has this thing that goes in your mind that temptation is going to hit you. should I do this? Should I not do this? Should I do these things that I'm getting ready to do? You have to think, is this going to affect my family? Is this going to affect me tomorrow? Is this going to affect me down the road? If it's not going to affect any of those things, maybe it's not a temptation. You have to decide on what yourself. You already know your weaknesses. I have many weaknesses. I do. I have many. I'm not going to say, I'm a sinner. I know I'm a sinner. And I pray to God every day, please take all this stuff away from me. But you know what? It's work. Satan gets a foothold on you, and it's not really, you're getting wrong. If you look at Proverbs 4:23, above all, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. And I'm just going to say, to defeat temptation, is you have to get rid of the good feeling, small and temporary movements. Certain emotions will hit you sometime. And you know when the temptation hits you the most? When the temptation hits you the most? When you're tired. When you don't feel so good. Something happened. Something made you upset. Say something made you upset. Well, it could be anything. And then the temptation hits you. You go, oh, where did that come from? That's going to make me feel good. If I do this temptation, it's going to make me feel good for how long? Will it affect my family? Will it affect my life? And will I have guilt if I do this? If you have any of those, and you answer any one of those, that's a yes. You don't need to do it. You have to really take hold of your emotions. If you look at Proverbs 4, verse 26 to 27, it says this: make level paths for your feet, and take only ways that are fun. Do not swerve to the right or the left. Keep your foot from evil. Rethink your life. And we take, a lot of times, we all do things that we should not do. Temptations. This is what I always say. If you have a temptation, and it hits you, and you have a temptation, what is the most prideful thing that you have? It could be a phone. It could be car keys. It could be anything. Drop them on the floor. Drop your phone on the floor. That temptation's going to disappear. That temptation, I didn't drop my phone before. But I guarantee it'll wake you up. Sometimes you have to wake yourself up. Drop the temptations. Sometimes you may need a small group to get away with temptations. Maybe people at church. Maybe you can get to the church and say, hey, I have temptations. Maybe get with the family and say, okay, I have temptations. Talk about it to someone you trust. Get away from it. Help others sometimes can help get away from temptations. Help others. You know what? In Hebrews they talk about it and getting together and having a relationship. So in closing, what I want to say is this. If you have a temptation, what you have to do, you have to rethink the process. If it's going to hurt someone in your life, don't do it. I don't care what it is. I don't care what the temptation is. Nothing is worse than losing a situation or a life you're in. I have had times where I had temptation hit me that I did, and I regret it. And in U.S., it taught me some big lessons in life. It was nothing that was naughty. It was nothing that was prideful. But it was things that the temptations that I did. I did not do anything that was prideful. What I would do was I would see things and I would see opportunities, and I would say to myself, how is this going to affect me? Is this going to hurt me tomorrow? And in a lot of cases, I said, okay, I will not do it. There were times I would have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in my hands. One time I had $1 million in my hands. The temptation thought, I'm going to Bahamas. I want to party. Oh, I could go to jail. Oh, well, that's okay. I could pay my way out of it. There was a time I ran supermarkets and money would just flow in these supermarkets because back in the day it was cash. No credit card, it was all cash. And you see these hundreds and these 50s and all this money run through here. And I was up there counting. I had stacks of money. Because we had 12 supermarkets. Some would do $300,000-$400,000 a day in sales. So I would sit here and go to myself, oh man, I think I'll go to Hawaii. But that temptation, it's going to affect my family. It's not only going to affect my family, it's going to affect my future, and I could be in jail for the next 20 years. But I can have that temporary happiness for today. It won't last. So I realized, I prayed to the Lord. I prayed, Lord, I was 21 years old, and I prayed, Lord, please don't let me have this temptation to take this money. And you know what? He took it away. All of a sudden, after that, I never had temptation again on it. And I really thought about it. I mean, I really thought about my escape. And the thinking process was only about 5 minutes. Though I was thinking, well, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. It's only 5 minutes. But the Lord took that away. I never had that temptation again. And thank goodness that I had Him in my life. Could I have done something wrong? Yeah, probably. Because I had an important job. And could I have taken that money? I could have, but I had an important job at that time. And I said, it's not worth it for me to go through that. So, please, if you have temptations, all you got to do is refocus your energy on something else. Don't do that. Pray to the Lord, and you'll find it'll be better for you and probably a happier life. God bless. Thank you.
Alright, ikaw lang yan.